Many of our rural villages have no public safety at all. So we are meeting with the commissioners, at Department of Public Safety. We're meeting with any local police. We meet with our legislators to say, what can we do to fix this problem? How can our people feel safe? How can we get a 911 system that works? Because we don't have really a working 911 system. In addition, if they call 911, who's coming? Because our communities are accessible mostly by boat or by plane. And when someone's been murdered, I've heard stories from communities that it took people 2 to 3 days to get there, or hours. Any of that is unacceptable. So how can we work to address that? So my name is Kendra Kloster. My Tlingit name is Katlet. I'm originally from Wrangell and Juneau down in Southeast Alaska, though I live, work, and play currently on Dena'ina lands in Anchorage. I'm with the MMIWG2S Alaska Working Group. I am both the co-founder and the co-director of that working group. It came together through what I call our heart work, and I met Dr. Charlene Uphuck back in 2018. We met over coffee and really discovered that we were doing a lot of this work around how we increase public safety in Alaska and how we're really addressing the missing, murdered Indigenous people crisis in Alaska. And as we got to talking, we really just had a lot of the similar frustrations and outformed this working group and looking at our state and understanding how large we are. We have 229 federally recognized tribes in the state. That's more than half. We have 574 tribes in our entire country. And just think of how many we have here in Alaska. And we have very diverse. I'm from Southeast Alaska, I'm from a rainforest. And if you go up north, you're gonna see a lot less trees and more tundra, and it's such a wide variety of our regions, of our cultures, and of our people. So it's just, you can't address things in the same way across the state or the way you might do it in the lower 48. You can't drive somewhere. Someone can't just pick up the phone and have a police officer drive to you. It just doesn't work that way. So we need to get creative with our solutions. When we were going to the legislature in 2018, we're like, we know this is an issue. They're like, well, show us the data. And what we realized is we didn't have it. And so when we went to go put together a rally to really just show awareness and support around missing, murdered Indigenous people, we wanted to read the names of people that have gone missing or been murdered. And we found out there was no list. No one was keeping that list. So we literally just everyone started sharing who they knew. And that list was growing and growing and growing. And then Dr. Charlene Uphuck started Data for Indigenous Justice, where that organization now is a home to that database, and names continue to be added. And that's really important because we need to understand the depth of the problem. The data, the information is our families, it's our relatives. And so we are very thoughtful in how we do this work. And we talk about that too. When we're talking with Department of Public Safety, we're like, you need to track this data, this is how we need to track it, and we also need to be really thoughtful how we're doing that. Because these aren't numbers. These are our family members. So we passed one of the first MMIP bills in the state of Alaska just a couple years ago. And that was solidifying MMIP investigators in state statute. It was requiring mandatory cultural training, and that was a huge component brought to us by our communities to know that when public safety is going out, they understand the culture and the people and how we communicate better with our police. And then it also looked at things, creating a review commission, and that was important because we wanted to look at the way cases were being investigated and what are things that we can improve. So there's many important pieces within that legislation, and there's more. So that was a huge effort that we've been pushing for since 2018, since we started. And so we finally got that across the finish line, but we're not done. We're following up on implementation, and we're following up on other policy needs. Our value and mission is really what we want to see in our state is really bringing down those numbers and not having this MMIP crisis that we have in our state and our nation. I come at this work as a mother, as an auntie, as a daughter, and all of these realms. I think of like, what are we handing to our children? What is our next future going to be? I do not want them to be fearful that they are going to be murdered or they're going to go missing. I do not want them to feel unsafe. Everyone deserves this right to feel safe in their home and in their community. And this really drives our work and our heart and what we're doing and how we're doing this for our children. You can't address MMIP without looking at our community, healing from the trauma that's been done to our communities and our families. And so we really try to center that in our work. And meaning we hold multiple events, like we can hold the Heartbeat of the Drums when we bring everybody together. And that just builds that community, it builds that support. Because these are really tough issues to work on for all of us. And so how do we build that support with our communities so we can heal along the way? We now have people on the ground specifically focused on MMIP cases. And to see that happening, it makes me feel grateful in the work that we've been doing to see those things move forward. I know we have a lot more work to do, but being able to see the impacts that we've had in our community, I think just empowers us more to be able to continue doing that.
From compiling data systems to passing landmark legislation and strengthening tribal partnerships, the MMIP Alaska Working Group continues to push for meaningful change. As Kendra reminds us, true safety requires more than policy. It requires healing, community connection, and honoring the voices of families who have carried this work for generations. Their progress shows what's possible when advocacy, culture, and collective strength move together.